What's up, Rebel Nation? It's your boy, The Real Daryl, back with another video. As I always say, Scarlet and Gray every day, all day. Want to talk about today's game. UNLV won 41-38 today against Miami of Ohio. It was a gritty, grimy, and it was a roller coaster ride today. But hey, UNLV found a way to come back and get that win. And just to let you know how the game was, I mean, they were down 14 points at the half. They rallied to tie to 24. And then like this, so when kickoff, it's 31-24, Miami of Ohio. Next Rebel possession, they come back, and it's a tip pass, pick six, and you're thinking, oh my God, this might not end well, but never lost the faith in the team. They come back. They pretty much own the third quarter, with the exception of those two plays that led to touchdowns for Miami of Ohio. But UNLV pretty much dominated the third quarter, come back in the fourth. 38-38, you're feeling good. And then Miami of Ohio, they're marching down the field and look like they might get a chance to, score a touchdown, possibly get a winning field goal. And then I got to give a shout out to number 3, Jaheim Morris, because he saved the game. Because when that Miami of Ohio running back was shaking and baking in the open field, he pulled a Peanut Tillman, punched the ball out, and man, it was Rebel ball, and that changed the game right there. And you could see the momentum just swing, because when that gentleman for Miami of Ohio fumbled the ball, he went to the sideline. He had his head down, and he knew it. He knew it. And UNLV went down the field, got the 3. And after that, it was game over. UNLV won the game 41-38. So I hope that Mr. Morris, if you ever do watch this video, that you got 2 scoops of ice cream with that chocolate chip cookie, because you deserve it on that plane ride home back to the 702. Because without that play made by you, UNLV probably could have lost the game. Who knows? Maybe they could have came back and tied it up late. But hey, without your play, you saved the Rebels bacon right there on that play, my friend. So thank you for that. UNLV's 4-0. Things I did like about the game was the second half. UNLV showed the heart to come back down 14 points twice. Establishment of the running game I thought was great, because everybody set the tone where Miami of Ohio was gassed in the second half. And you could just tell, man, I mean, just the tackling, they were wrapping up in the first half. But when you start seeing people doing arm tackles and then guys got their hands on their hips, you knew Miami of Ohio was getting tired. And it showed in the second half. One thing I did not like, of course, is the penalties. We got to stop that. There was one particular one I know of, 4th and 5, and Miami of Ohio was about to punt, and one of our D linemen jumps outside for whatever reason. I have no clue. And you can see the coaches like, man, what are you doing? So those things like that, you can't have 4 or 5 offsides penalties as you go into conference play. So we got to get better on the discipline aspect of it. I think the coach got to start sitting these players down. Hey, man, you commit a penalty, you gonna ride that pine, And I think those type of things right there, you can't have that, because if you want to play, you want to win the conference, you can't do that. Because I know Boise State, they look great today. Their running back had 5 touchdowns against Air Force. So you play against them and you do that, it's going to be like it was the last 2 years where we played in the conference title game where we came up short. I don't want to see us become almost champions again. I want to see UNLV hoist that Mountain West Conference championship. So, again, we're getting ready for conference play, Rebel Nation. So those things we need to fix up on is just the penalties. And I like to see UNLV establish that running game, because as we saw right here today, when UNLV was gassing Miami of Ohio, it just opened up everything. And I think with Jet Thomas and the caliber running backs we have behind him, UNLV could just make the game so much easier when you're just not just dropping back the pass, when you could just control that line of scrimmage and take another team's will. So that's what I'm hoping for as we go into conference play, Rebel Nation. Let's just stack these wins. I don't care how they look, because for me, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, heck, even when I was a kid, as a lifelong UNLV fan, just even talking UNLV being undefeated prior to going into conference play, talks about being bowl eligible, talks about possibly being a college football playoff team. That was unheard of as being a UNLV football fan. So let that sink in. Again, we talk about UNLV football, possibly winning the conference, possibly going to college football playoffs. That's real. That's real talk around here. So that's why I'm not going to be one of these content creators / fans that's going to be, sitting up here critiquing how we won the game and stuff like that. Because it's hard to win in college football, especially when you got to look at, let's say, with the roster turnover that you're going to see in college football. And I think UNLV was at what I think it had like what three returning starters on offense and three returning starters on defense. So you have to look at that right there. But this feels good to be a UNLV fan, everybody. So let's just keep that grind going. Anyways, I'm the real Daryl. Like I said, hey, with another video, and as I always say, hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please comment. Please share. And as I always say, scarlet and gray every day, all day. And it's all about them Rebels, baby. And I'm out. Peace.